Thank you so much, Prabhu, for kindly introducing me. Thank you so much, dear devotees, for kindly being present here today. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you who are present here today for this wonderful Sunday evening program. I'm very grateful that you kindly took out your time and you're present here on this Sunday evening. And before I begin to speak something, Hare Krishna. Ki Jai. We welcome His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, dear devotees. I'll begin with Jai Radha Madhav and then I'll begin today's program, dear devotees. You can kindly sing after me. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachare Yamunatira Vanachare Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jai Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jai Gauranitai Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you once again, dear devotees, for kindly being present here today. I am so grateful to each and every one of you for kindly having given your time here today, this Sunday evening. And I'm also very thankful, His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaj, you're kindly present here today, Maharaj. By your blessings and good wishes, I'm trying to speak here something on the topic of Moksha and Prema. Dear devotees, it's here in front of you. You can see the title. What is the title, dear devotees? Moksha and Prema. And how do we translate Moksha, dear devotees? Liberation. Liberation and Prema. Before I speak anything on this topic, it is Shishta Parampara. It is tradition established by the previous Acharyas that to prevent any obstacles in the execution of the program, we should perform Mangalacharan, auspicious invocations. So I'll chant auspicious invocations, Mangalacharan. Most of us know these verses. You can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Nama. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. Dear devotees, once again I am very thankful to each and every one of you. This is a very important topic because it speaks about the two important goals of life that we all have One is, it will come. Can you see now? Yeah, okay. It is just, I'm transitioning. Okay, okay. So, it is speaking about two important goals of life, which is Moksha and Prema. I'll begin with a quote by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says something in Teachings of Lord Kapila. There's a book by Srila Prabhupada, Teachings of Lord Kapila. In the 16th chapter, Teachings of Lord Kapila, Srila Prabhupada says something. Prabhuji, your good name? Huh? Okay. So Prabhu, do you have a loud voice? Okay. So Prabhu, you can read, Prabhu. Huh? Dauji Nitai Prabhu, kindly read what Srila Prabhupada says in chapter 16. Oh, we have a mic to amplify your voice so it can reach everywhere. Okay, wonderful.
Generally, people want dharma, artha, kama and moksha in that order. First of all, people want to become religious, dharma, in order to attain material opulence, artha. People want material opulence in order to glorify their senses, kama. And when they are frustrated in their attempt to glorify their senses, they want liberation, moksha. In this way, dharma, artha, kama and moksha are going on.
So dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada specifies there are 4 goals of human life given in Shastra. What are the 4 goals of life, dear devotees? The first one is dharma, second is artha, third is kama, fourth is moksha. Srila Prabhupada says, first of all, people want to become little religious because this dharma is the first principle which civilized people are taught in their childhood. And then after becoming religious, after some time, they also want to have some material opulence. So the second goal of life, dear devotees, is artha. And once you have artha, obviously something follows. What follows, dear devotees? Kama. Kama is often translated as lust, but kama usually means all sorts of material desires. All sorts of material creative tendencies are classified under the term kama. So people also want to have fulfillment of their material desires, which is called as kama. And no matter how much you try to fulfill your desires in this world, the world is not meant for complete fulfillment of desires. Finally, a person gets frustrated and they want to get out of the world and they want moksha. Dear devotees, in this way, dharma, artha, kama and moksha are going on. Srila Prabhupada specifies this in the 16th chapter of Teachings of Lord Kapila. Amongst these 3, dear devotees, the first 3 are important because the first 3 are interrelated to each other. What are the first 3, dear devotees? Dharma, artha, kama. And they are of immediate importance to most individuals on this planet. Right now, most people on this planet are not exactly looking for moksha. They are either looking for dharma, artha or kama. Dear devotees, these 3 goals of life, they have been explained by various authorities in the past. One of the authorities who specifies about these 3 goals of life is Chanakya Pandit. Chanakya Pandit specifies something, dear devotees. Please repeat after me what he says. Sukhasya moolam dharmaha. Sukhasya moolam dharmaha. Moolam means the root. Dear devotees, what is the root of happiness? He says dharma. What is the root of all happiness, dear devotees? Dharma. Today, if we are happy, due to any reason, if we have been blessed by wealth, if we have been blessed by good parents, if we are blessed with good friends, it is because somewhere in the past, we have committed some activity of dharma. Therefore, dear devotees, sukhasya moolam dharma. If you want any happiness in life, then you need to follow one principle. And which principle is that, dear devotees? Dharma. What is dharma? Isn't it? What is dharma? Okay, we will keep that question as it is. I will answer that question. What is dharma? Sometimes dharma is translated as duty, constitutional position. But today we will see a precise definition of dharma from the Shastras. What is the meaning of dharma? But dear devotees, Sri Chanakya Pandit says, if you want happiness in life, you should follow one principle. And which principle is that, dear devotees? Dharma. Next he says, please repeat after me. Arthamulau He dharma kamaviti. But even if you want to follow dharma properly in this life, you need artha. Dear devotees, what is artha? Artha is often translated as money. But artha is not exactly money. Artha is overall prosperity in human form of life. Money is one aspect of overall prosperity. Artha is overall prosperity in human form of life. I'll give a small example of artha, dear devotees. For example, in my childhood, I used to go to my village, and in the village in summer season, the entire family, joint family would get together. There would be 50 people together. 50 people together, all of them had ample amount of food to eat. And it was summer season, so there were mangoes in the backyard, and the mango crates would fill the entire upper floor of the home. And dear, how many of you have had such a childhood? Please raise your hands. In the village. Wonderful. Some of you have had. Achha, today I stay in the city. Today I have money in my bank account. But today, even in order to purchase one crate of mango, I have to think twice, dear devotees. Isn't it? I have to think twice before buying a crate of mango because it's very expensive. In my village, it was free. And the entire family was together. But today, the families, they are in their own places, and I am in the city. And dear devotees, I may have money, but I don't have artha. I hope you are able to understand. Artha is not simply money. Artha is overall prosperity, which includes sufficient food, the presence of relatives, sufficient money. All of that combined together, that prosperity is known as what, dear devotees? Artha. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter, Arjuna said, what will we do with this kingdom if we don't have the relatives to enjoy it with? Isn't it? Because simply a kingdom is not artha. You also need an entire community to give meaning to that kingdom. So, artha mulau hi dharma kama. If you want dharma and if you want kama, dear devotees, kama is fulfillment of desires. You need artha. And what is artha? Overall prosperity is known as artha. So, here is the translation. Prabhu, can you kindly read what is the translation? The root of all dharma and kama is artha. Dear devotees, and finally, Chanakya Pandit says, please repeat after me, parasparasya anupaghatakam. These three goals of life should not cause harm to each other. What does he mean? Sometimes we do too much dharma, so much dharma, that we forget artha and kama. Sometimes a person uses his dharma to harm his artha and kama, which means they become so super religious in life that they forget to have basic material prosperity in life. Then later in life they regret, alas, if only I would have, had some proper prosperity in my life. Some people become so busy in artha, material prosperity, that they forget dharma and sometimes even kama. And some people become so busy in kama, they forget about dharma. So Sri Chanakya Pandit says, parasparasya anupaghatakam. Let one goal of life not harm another goal of life, dear devotees. Therefore, it's very important to understand that these three goals of life should be balanced with each other. In the Ramayana, there is a famous statement by Bhagavan Ram himself. Bhagavan Ram is in the forest and he has been exiled for 14 years. And his brother Bharat comes to convince him to come back to the kingdom. And Bharat is very distressed because their father Dashrath has passed away. And Bharat wants to convey this news to Sri Ram. Sri Ram sees that there is some unhappiness on the face of Bharat. And Sri Ram asks many questions. What happened? What happened? Please tell me if everything is okay. And one of the questions which Sri Ram asks Bharat is in front of us. This is directly from Sri Valmiki Ramayana. Please repeat after me. Kachid arthena vadharmam artham dharmena va punah ubhav va priti lobhena kamena na vibadhase. He says, Bharat, do you suppress your dharma by your artha? Or are you suppressing your artha by your dharma? Or are you suppressing both of them by your kama? Bharat, what are you doing wrong in your life that you are so unhappy today? You can see the terms artha, dharma again and again in the verse. Bharat, are you suppressing your dharma by your artha or vice versa? Or are you suppressing both of them by your kama that you are so unhappy today? You are a king, you are a householder, you are supposed to balance everything. Bharat, you seem to be unhappy. Is there something wrong with the three goals of your life? And what are the first three goals, dear devotees? Dharma, artha, kama. Dear devotees, therefore, let us try to understand these three, dharma, artha and kama. But dear devotees, there is something that you will notice about these three, dharma, artha and kama. These three are completely transactional in the material world. You know what is transactional? You give something, you take something. You don't get it for free. Alright, it is called transactional. So dharma, artha and kama are completely transactional in this material world. First and foremost, let us understand what is dharma. Let us get an authentic definition of dharma from Srimad Bhagavatam. Dear devotees, in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a definition of dharma given directly by the messengers of Yamaraj. The Yamudutas, they are giving a definition of dharma in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. They are taking away a Jamil, who is a very sinful person. They are dragging him to hell. Suddenly, Vishnu Dutas, they come to rescue a Jamil. And then the Vishnu Dutas say, why are you taking him away? So they say, he has committed adharma. Non-dharma, irreligiosity. The Vishnu Dutas say, what is dharma? Tell us. So the Yamadutas reply, what is dharma? Dear devotees, here is a definition of dharma. Please repeat after me. Veda pranihito dharmo yadharmas tad viparyayah. One simple line, dear devotees. Veda pranihito dharmo. Whatever is given in the Vedas is what? Dharma. Whatever is given in the Vedas is what, dear devotees? Dharma. And whatever is opposite to that is adharma. Here is the translation by Srila Prabhupada. Please read, Prabhuji.
That which is prescribed in the Vedas constitutes dharma. The religious principles and the opposite of this is religion.
Simple definition. If anybody asks us what is dharma, we have to simply give one answer. Whatever is specified in one literature, and which literature is that, dear devotees? Vedas. Whatever is given in the Vedas is dharma, and the opposite of that, dear devotees, is adharma. Achha. Now, dear devotees, if you see the entirety of Vedas, in the Vedas there is one main topic discussed. And that main topic in the Vedas is yajna. And do you know what is yajna, dear devotees? How do you translate yajna in English? Fire sacrifice is the main topic discussed in the Vedas. And the Vedas promise you something. What do they promise you? Please repeat after me. Swarga kamo yajeta. A person desirous of Swarga. What is Swarga, dear devotees? Heavenly planets. Yajeta should perform yajna, should perform fire sacrifice. Does it sound non-transactional or transactional, dear devotees? Transactional. Of course it is transactional. Dear devotees, in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna himself tells Arjuna how transactional Vedic dharma is. Please repeat after me. This is Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 11th verse. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha Shreyah paramavapsyatha. Krishna says, Devan bhavayata anena. Arjun, satisfy the devatas, the gods, with this yajna. And te deva bhavayantuva. In return, the gods will satisfy you by giving you 6 seasons in sequence. We should have, dear devotees, how many seasons in sequence? 6. What are the 6 seasons in sequence? I am telling you, if you go to India, sometimes in some places you will find 6 seasons in sequence. Please repeat after me. Summer,
Summer,
rainfall,
rainfall,
fall,
fall,
pre-winter,
pre-winter,
winter,
winter,
spring.
spring.
How many seasons, dear devotees? 6. And these should come in sequence. Now, in how many parts of the world do we see these 6 in sequence? You rarely find these 6 in sequence. Even in India, they are now out of order many times. In a few places, you will find these 6 in proper order, and these are the 6 seasons that we are supposed to, only when the devatas are happy, they will give you the 6 seasons in proper order. When you have the 6 seasons in proper order, you will have all the wonderful fruits, flowers, vegetables, everything that you need for your artha. And what is artha, dear devotees? Money in your bank? No. Overall prosperity is called artha. What will you do with money in your bank if your mind is depressed? Dear devotees, that is not artha. So dear devotees, this is what Bhagavan specifies. Prabhu, please read what Sri Krishna says to Arjun in Bhagavad Gita.
The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus, by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all.
So you satisfy the devatas, and the devatas will satisfy you. How does this religion sound, dear devotees? Transactional or non-transactional? Oh, wonderful. Acha. And if we don't satisfy the devatas, then they are not obliged to give you anything. So if you want dharma, make sure you satisfy the devatas. This is the transactional nature of dharma, dear devotees. And this is Krishna's own words in the Bhagavad Gita. This is how you get proper prosperity for everyone. Alright? Then, dear devotees, the second goal of life. After dharma, what is the second goal of life? Artha. Artha is the very currency of transaction. And therefore, artha can never be non-transactional. Dear devotees, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is specified how artha will always remain transactional because it is the very currency of transaction. You deal in this world by giving and taking something. And therefore, dear devotees, artha will never be non-transactional. Shri Shukracharya is telling his disciple Bali Maharaj, who is about to give away everything to Vishnu, please stop. Don't give away all your artha, all your prosperity to Vishnu. Please wait. You should properly divide your artha. And this is what Shri Shukracharya says to Bali Maharaj. Dharmaya yashasirthaya Kamaya svajanaya cha Panchadha vibhajan vitam Iha mutra cha modate Panchadha vibhajan vittam. Oh Bali Maharaj, you are giving away all your wealth to that one personality Vishnu. Wait, you should divide your wealth in how many parts? 5. Panchadha. Divide your wealth intelligently in 5 parts. And otherwise you will suffer in this life and the next life. And what are the 5 parts, dear devotees? Please hear carefully. Dharmaya. 1/5 should be given to dharma. 1/5 of your wealth should be given to your religious activities. So that you can give to Vishnu, no problem. Give 1/5, no problem. But you are giving the entirety to Vishnu, that is a problem. Second, yashase. Give 1/5 also so that people will remember you after your death. Give 1/5 so that there will be some projects in your name. Yeah, charity. That this particular bridge was built by Bali Maharaj. You know, otherwise people will forget. Yashase, give something 1/5 for your own reputation. Third, arthaya. The third 1/5 should be given, should be put in investment so that it will increase. The 1/5 should be invested. The fourth division of 1/5, kamaya, for your own happiness. And the final 1/5, swajanaya, for your relatives. In this way, divide your wealth in how many parts? 5 parts. Iha amutra cha modate. You will be happy in this life and you will be happy in next life. And Bali Maharaj, if you give all of it to Vishnu, you will be unhappy in this life and you know. But dear devotees, did Bali Maharaj believe in this transactional artha or did he not believe in this transactional artha? No, he did not believe. Even at the expense of humiliation, he ended up doing something against his own guru's words. But still, this proves that artha in this world is meant for transaction, giving to others and receiving from others. All right, Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
Therefore, one who is in full knowledge should divide his accumulated wealth in 5 parts: for religion, for reputation, for opulence, for sense gratification, and for the maintenance of his family members. Such a person is happy in this world and in the next.
Yes. Dear devotees, please tell me, is artha transactional or non-transactional? Fully transactional. It is the very currency of transaction. Dear devotees, after dharma and artha, there is the third principle. What is the third principle, dear devotees? Kam. Kam refers to fulfillment of sense desires. Now, dear devotees, kama is certainly transactional. Sometimes people say, no, there are certain desires which are non-transactional. So people say, we love our children unconditionally. How many of you believe that people love their children unconditionally? Please raise your hands. See, there are some people who will raise their hands. And this is a very classic question taken up in the Upanishads. In the Upanishads, there is a discussion between the great sage Yajnavalkya and his wife Maitreyi. And the sage Yajnavalkya says something to his wife Maitreyi. Please repeat after me, dear devotees. Na va are patyuh kamaya patihi priyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya patihi priyo bhavati. Na va are. Oh, dear Maitreyi, don't think that the wife loves her husband because she loves her husband. Don't think that the wife loves her husband for the husband's sake. Atmanastu kamaya, the wife loves herself and therefore she loves the husband. Achha, some of the ladies are thinking, why a statement against women like this, isn't it? Huh? Don't worry, the next statement is about men. So first, but please read, Prabhu, what he says.
Maitreyi, it is not for the sake of the husband's pleasure that he is loved, but it is for the pleasure of the self that he is loved.
By the wife. So, dear devotees, a wife loves the husband because if the husband is unhappy, then who will be unhappy? Wife. And finally, the wife does not want herself to be unhappy. I hope you are able to understand. Huh? For that reason, the wife loves whom? The husband. In the immediate next statement, Maitreya Muni says, Yajnavalkya says, Nava are jayayai kamaya jaya priya bhavati atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. And Maitreyi, it is not for the sake of the wife's pleasure that she is loved by the husband, but it is for the pleasure of the self that the husband loves the wife. Please tell me, dear devotees, a husband wants to stay, all a husband wants is to become happy, isn't it? Huh? Dear husbands, isn't it? Yes or no? Huh? And we, those of you who are married, we love our wives because if the wife is unhappy, then who will be unhappy, dear devotees? We will be unhappy. And dear devotees, whom do we love the most? Ourselves. And therefore, since we do not want to become unhappy, therefore, we ensure that our relatives are happy. Acha, this is not only between husband and wife. Everything. Nava are sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It is not for the sake of everything that everything is loved, but it is for the sake of the self that everything is loved. Dear devotees, I saw once a person bought a brand new car from the factory, brand new car from the factory. And just as he was driving it on the street, he immediately dashed it against a wall. Brand new car. Can you imagine what might have happened? You know, how he might have felt at that point of time. And there was no insurance. In India, there's no insurance. So he was crying on the street, I bought a brand new car and I just dashed it against a wall. I don't know how to drive properly. So I wanted to tell him, so dear devotees, the car is living entity or non-living entity? Even though the car is a non-living entity, he has so much love invested in the car. Please tell me, does he love the car or does he love himself? And why do people take care of all non-living entities which belong to them? Because finally they don't love these non-living entities. Finally the living entity loves itself the most. This is the Siddhanta given in the Upanishads. So dear devotees, please tell me, when we love others in the material world, is that love transactional or non-transactional? Transactional. We love others because finally we love ourselves. So that is the transactional nature of dharma, artha and kama. Now dear devotees, we have great hopes placed over the fourth one. At least the fourth one will turn out to be non-transactional. What is the fourth one, dear devotees? At least let us get out of the world free, without any transactional nature. Please tell me, dear devotees, as a living entity, are we looking for business transactional dealings, or finally are we hankering for non-transactional benefit? What are we hankering for? Non-transactional benefit. But everywhere we go in the world, we see only transactional benefit in the world. While we are hankering for something non-transactional, at least we will hope that moksha will be non-transactional. Dear devotees, I am very sorry to disappoint you. Moksha is transactional. Don't believe me, dear devotees? Here is the verse. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Many of us have heard this verse, isn't it? Arjun, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. In return, I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Acha, Bhagwan, if I don't surrender unto you, then? Bolo, bolo. No moksha. Bhagwan, what sort of a deal is this? First, you abandon all varieties of religion. In return, I will protect you and liberate you. And Bhagwan, if I don't do something from my side, then I am not taking any guarantee. Dear devotees, please tell me, is moksha transactional here or non-transactional? Transactional. Are we satisfied with transactional dharma? We are not satisfied. We want somebody who will give us unconditional benefit. But everywhere in the world, including moksha, we are finding conditional benefit. Therefore, dear devotees, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas very clearly say one thing. And this is what they say. This is a verse by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. Please repeat after me. Prithvi te yar kichu dharma name chale Bhagavat kahe taha Paripurna chale. Srila Prabhupada often used to quote this verse. Prithivite yar kichu dharma naam chale. Whatever goes on in the world in the name of religiosity, the Srimad Bhagavatam declares it to be outright cheating. Dear devotees, you may go outside of Vedic dharma and you may take to other religions. But even in other religions, there is that same transactional nature. Follow our religion, follow our path, and only then you can be the chosen one. And if I don't follow your path, well then, you will not be the chosen one. Yes, and you may end up in eternal hell if you don't follow the chosen path. Dear devotees, everywhere in the world you will find transactional religion. And there is nobody willing to give non-transactional, unconditional benefit to the living entities. Is there any religion in the world which will give you unconditional benefit, dear devotees, without expecting anything from you? And this is a big question. Therefore, dear devotees, in the very beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a statement, dear devotees, please repeat after me. Dharmah projita kaitavotra parama. This says Dharmah projita kaitavotra. The highest dharma, devoid of any cheating propensity, is presented here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Commenting upon this, the commentator Sri Sridhar Swami says, Prashabdena moksha bhisandirapi nirastaha. By the prefix pra in the term projita above, the desire for moksha is also rejected. Dear devotees, the devotees do not even want the final goal of life. What is the final goal of life, dear devotees? Moksha. Now I am going to ask all of you to do something very important. We have to say something in order to get rid of this, dear devotees, because this transactional nature is disturbing us since millions of lives. How many of us wish to have non-transactional benefit in our lives? Please raise your hands. Oh, wonderful. Dear devotees, we have to speak something in front of Bhagwan. Bhagwan is present here. All right? Are you willing to speak something? All right? Show some enthusiasm. Yeah, okay. Otherwise, I will not come to know. Dear devotees, so please say to Bhagwan, Dear Krishna, I do not want dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. I do not want to go back to Godhead. Oh my goodness. No. No. It's a very big sacrifice. Oh, okay. No, I have not completed the sentence. All right, dear devotees, once again. Dear Krishna, I do not want to go back to Godhead if it doesn't come with your prema, with your love. Dear devotees, we do not want to go anywhere. First and foremost, we want something from Krishna. We want prema. What is the meaning of prema, dear devotees? Love. Unconditional love. Without unconditional love, dear devotees, there is no point of any religiosity. And if unconditional love towards Bhagavan is present, then attaining moksha is simply a side effect of that unconditional love. Dear devotees, let us become unconditional in our approach. Let us stop asking Bhagavan for all these smaller transactions. When we become non-transactional, Bhagavan also will become non-transactional. Let us not ask Bhagavan for anything, dharma, artha, kama or moksha. Let us ask Bhagavan only for one thing, dear devotees. And what is that, dear devotees? Prema. And prema is love. And prema, love of Bhagavan, love of Krishna is not something transactional, because love of Krishna is for Krishna's pleasure, it is not for our pleasure. Prabhu, let's say if you ask me, what do you want? And if I say, the only thing I want is that you should be happy. Is it transactional or non-transactional? Non-transactional. The only thing I want is that you should be happy. This is the desire of the devotee. So tomorrow if Bhagavan comes to you and says, I am very happy with you, what do you want? You have to give a perfect answer, dear devotees. All right? What will you say? Bhagavan, the new Tesla Cybertruck. No. The reply, dear devotees, please repeat after me. Bhagavan, I do not want anything for myself. I only want your happiness. Dear devotees, this is the highest platform, non-cheating, non-transactional religiosity. That is the difference between moksha and prema. In moksha, there is still the desire for personal happiness. And in prema, there is no desire for personal happiness. Of course, prema has immense happiness, but that happiness doesn't come as a result of a selfish desire. That happiness comes simply as a result of giving happiness to Shri Krishna. That happiness is the best happiness in the world, dear devotees. Therefore, dear devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami says something in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Sri Rupa Goswami says there are two desires which will trouble all of you the most. Two desires. One of them is the desire for material enjoyment, and the other is the desire for getting liberated. Both desires will trouble you like no other desires. Sri Rupa Goswami's direct words in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, please repeat after me. Bhukti mukti sprihayava pishachi hridi vartate tavad bhakti sukhasyatra katham abhyudayo bhave. Pishachi refers to a ghost. When somebody is overtaken by a ghost, do they seem happy to you or unhappy? How do they look? Unhappy. So Pishachi, two ghosts can take over your heart. The first ghost is Bhukti Spriha, the ghost of material enjoyment. I want this, I want that, I want so much money. As long as this ghost is sitting on your heart, you will never become happy. This is the first ghost. And the second ghost, Mukti Spriha, the ghost of the desire for getting liberated. As long as these two are there, you will never be happy. And I will tell you how the desire for liberation looks. I must wake up every day early in the morning. Why? Because if I don't wake up, I will not be able to go back home, back to Godhead. And I must come to the temple every morning at 4:30. Because if I don't come, I will not be able to go back to Godhead. And I must chant my 16 rounds and associate with the devotees. Because if I don't do this, I will not be able to go back to Godhead. Dear devotees, this is another ghost on the heart. Dear devotees, I hope you are able to understand. Is this conditional, non-transactional bhakti or transactional bhakti? Transactional bhakti. Here is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read.
As long as the witch-like desires for bhukti, material pleasures, and mukti, liberation from matter, have their grips over the heart of sadhaka, how can the true happiness of bhakti ever make an appearance there?
How can the true happiness of bhakti make an appearance in our heart? Yes, please move ahead, dear devotees. Please move ahead. There's still devotees coming. Please move ahead. Please hear carefully, dear devotees. A very important point is being spoken. You can never truly be happy if there are two witches, two ghosts haunting your heart. First is the ghost of the desire for sense enjoyment. Second is the ghost of the desire for liberation. And if one of these two ghosts is haunting your heart, you will never become happy in your life. So give up both these ghosts, material enjoyment and liberation. Because you know how a haunted person looks, dear devotees. Does he look happy or unhappy? And what do we want to become? Do we want to become happy or unhappy? Happy. So we should not have two ghosts sitting on our heart. Bhukti Spriha, the ghost of the desire for material enjoyment, and Mukti Spriha, the ghost of the desire to get liberated as a result of bhakti. Bhakti should be done without any desires in our heart. Bhakti should be non-transactional from our side. Alright, dear devotees, this is a very important message that Sri Rupa Goswami is giving us. And dear devotees, if at all you are presented with the choice of getting liberated, then we should only say one thing: I will only accept liberation if my love of Krishna remains unharmed. I hope you are able to understand. I will only accept liberation if my love of Krishna remains unharmed. That is the only condition in which I will accept liberation. Otherwise, there is no reason for me to even accept any liberation. This is the conclusion. Finally, dear devotees, Sri Rupa Goswami says, sometimes you can accept moksha, you can accept liberation if it comes upfront to you. Don't go begging for it. It will come to you. Sri Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, please repeat after me. Atra tyajya tayaivokta muktihi pancha vidhapi ched salokyadis tathapyatra bhaktya nati virudhyate. He says, although I have said that you should give up the desire for all types of liberation, including going back to Godhead, you should give up impersonal liberation, you should give up personal liberation, all liberations you should give up. But Salokyadi, personal liberation, associating with Bhagavan in his abode, can be accepted if it is not against your bhakti. Can you see the attitude, dear devotees? It can be accepted if it is not against your bhakti. This is the attitude of the devotee. Bhaktya na ati virudhyate. If it is not going against your bhakti, then you can accept one of the personal liberations, but never accept impersonal liberation merging into the impersonal Brahman. Because that is completely against bhakti. Please read the translation, Prabhu. What Sri Rupa Goswami says.
Although all 5 types of liberation are spoken as being worthy of rejection in this text, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, still the 4 types of liberation, examples Salokya, etc., are not very unfavorable towards bhakti.
Can you see the attitude? 4 types of liberation are not very unfavorable towards bhakti, which means I will think about it if it comes to me. I will consider the subject matter if liberation comes to me. I will not go running behind liberation, because my main goal is not moksha, dear devotees. Our main goal is what, dear devotees? Prema. And Prema is the only non-transactional entity in the entire universe, dear devotees. It doesn't expect anything in return from Shri Krishna. And you know, Shri Krishna has made one statement in the Bhagavad Gita. Some of you might be knowing. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. The mood in which people surrender to me, I reciprocate accordingly. Let's say, Prabhu, you surrender to Krishna and Krishna comes in front of you and said, I am happy with your bhakti. The mood with which you surrendered, I am going to reciprocate. What do you want? Prema? Arey nahi, ask something for yourself. What do you want? See, he's not asking anything for himself. Bhagavan is also wondering what to do. I had made a big statement in the Bhagavad Gita that the degree of, as the mood with which you surrender, I will reciprocate with that mood. And he is giving me prema. He is asking for prema. And in return, Bhagavan will also have to give what, dear devotees? Prema. Yes. Yes, Maharaj.
I was just thinking, based on what you were saying, when Prahlad Maharaj responded to Nrsingadev, when he was trying to offer Prahlad so many benedictions, finally he said, of course you know, he said, just let me stay here in this material world and preach to these fools and rascals who made a humbug civilization. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So finally, Prahlad Maharaj also did not ask anything for himself. Prahlad Maharaj said, one thing I definitely want to ask for, I want to stay here and spread your prema everywhere. So dear devotees, that is also an unconditional desire, that I want to spread your prema, Bhagavan, everywhere, and I want your prema. Bhagavan is also thinking what to do, because I can't reciprocate exactly in material terms. This is not a transactional thing you're asking for. It's a non-transactional thing. And when Bhagavan gives his prema, Bhagavan will never take it back from you. You will become an eternally premi, a loving devotee of Bhagavan, always staying in the heart of Bhagavan. And that is the only non-transactional thing which can satisfy the living entity forever. Nothing else in the world is non-transactional. Nothing else. The devotees, not even the relationships in the material world are non-transactional. I told you, people make others happy because they want whom to be happy? Themselves to be happy. Not even the relationships in the material world are non-transactional. All of them are transactional, dear devotees. Therefore, the only non-transactional entity in the entire universe is Shri Krishna Prem. And that is where the Srimad Bhagavatam begins. The Bhagavad Gita ends with moksha. That surrender to me, I will give you moksha. The Bhagavatam begins by saying no moksha. No moksha. Moksha is a transaction. And transactions will never make you happy. The Bhagavad Gita was written in the Mahabharata. And Mahabharata and compiling Mahabharata and 17 Puranas, Vyasdev was still unhappy. Can you imagine, dear devotees? Even after compiling the entire Bhagavad Gita inside the Mahabharata and compiling 17 Puranas, Sri Vyasadeva was unhappy because all that Mahabharata and 17 Puranas contained which dharma? Transactional or non-transactional? Transactional. And the author himself is not happy. What will happen to the readers, dear devotees? What will happen to the readers? Therefore, finally, Sri Narad, his guru, came and told him, now write a literature which is based on non-transactional dharma, which is based on Prema. And he wrote that literature which was based exclusively on Prema. Which literature was that, dear devotees? Srimad Bhagavatam. The literature exclusively based on Prema and nothing else but Prema, dear devotees. That is the difference between moksha and Prema. Dear devotees, I will end finally with a statement by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says in a talk on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 13 March 1974. Because many times people say Prabhupada told us you should go back home, back to Godhead. But see here what Srila Prabhupada is saying. A devotee, he does not aspire after going back to home, back to Godhead. No, any place, it doesn't matter. He wants to simply glorify the Supreme Lord. That is his business. It is not the business of the bhakta, the devotee, that he is chanting and dancing and executing devotional service for going to Vaikuntha or Goloka Vrindavan. That is Krishna's desire. If he likes, he will take me. Dear devotees, going back to Godhead is whose headache? And Krishna Prem is our headache, dear devotees. All right? We take care of our headache. Let Krishna take care of his headache, dear devotees. All right? Thank you very much, dear devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So, do we have time for Q&A or should we pause here? One or two questions we can take. Yes, Mataji, please. Yeah, the mic is coming so that we can amplify your question. Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, as you're saying that we ask, when Krishna come and ask, what do you want? Because we are getting into non-transactional, we say only your happiness. But Canto 3 also says, you know, in the this verse is there where that I don't want any of the liberation if there is no service. So how do I reconcile? I mean, is this the same thing?
So the verse which you are referring to, I'll pull out that verse.
3:29:13.
This is 3:29:13. Salokya sarishti samipya sarupya aikatvam apyuta diyamanam na grihnanti vina mat sevanam. Devotees will not accept any liberation vina mat sevanam. You can see what is the meaning of vina mat sevanam, without my devotional service. Without prema, the devotees will not accept any of these liberation. So what comes first, prema or liberation? Prema. The same thing. So without my devotional service, without my prema, devotees will not accept any of these types of liberation. That is the attitude of the devotee, Mataji. All right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? One last query. Two more? Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When Lord Chaitanya is speaking in Shikshastakam, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love, flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And like this, how is this the mood like of just wanting to give pleasure to Krishna? When it seems like you want, it seems like it could be that you want that Bhakta or Lord Chaitanya wants to relish.
Yeah. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadaruddhaya gira pulakair nichitam vapuh kada tava nama grahane bhavishyati. Tava nama grahane, when will it happen that on uttering your name, my eyes will shed tears, my voice will be choked, and my hair will stand on end? When will it so happen? What he is indicating is that when will I achieve such a level of prema, such a level of love of you, that simply by uttering your name, I will have so much affection for you that I will spontaneously shed tears for you. When will that day come when I'll be able to cry for you? So that is a hankering for attaining intense prema, intense love of Bhagwan. And any hankering for prema is not a selfish desire. It is a desire for increasing the pleasure of the other person. It's like a person loves another person and we say, when will I have so much attachment for you that simply on remembering you I will start to cry. I wish to have that level of attachment for you, that simply on remembering you I will start to cry. So is the prayer for crying or is the prayer for increased attachment? It is a prayer for increased attachment. And therefore any prayer for increased attachment towards Krishna is not a selfish prayer, because that is a prayer for giving pleasure to Bhagavan. So that is the answer to the query. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Prabhupada Priya Mataji is here. Yeah, thank you. Oh.
I'm thinking that if we go back to Godhead, then the circumstances for service are much more favorable, because in the material world, material bodies are limitation, there are conditional activities that need to be performed, paraphernalia for service is sometimes hard to come by, but there everything is favorable.
Sure.
So isn't it better to be there than here?
Okay, wonderful. So the query is, when we go back to Godhead in the spiritual world, the circumstances are all favorable. So isn't it better to go back there and then render service than to stay here? Going there first and foremost requires a mindset of prema. Without prema, what will we do there? That is the question. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Siddhanta, the conclusion is specified by Sri Rishabdev in 5.5.6 Srimad Bhagavatam, where Sri Rishabdev says, Pritir na yavan mai vasudeve na muchyate deha yoge na tavat. In the translation, Srila Prabhupada says, therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudev, who is none other than myself, he or she is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. Because Bhagavan also knows what will we do there if we don't have prema. Let's say tomorrow I go back to Godhead, but I don't have prema in my heart. So then I will ask Krishna, I'm getting bored here, thoda, Bhagavan, can you make a little arrangement for my happiness? So there's no point of going there if one doesn't have the requisite mindset or that attitude of prema. Once the attitude of prema is there, once you have attained prema, your argument, your question is 100% valid. But first, the horse should be put before the cart. And that is, prema should be put before liberation. And let's say prema is attained. And then your argument is 100% valid and acceptable. Then those circumstances are much more favorable than serving here in the material world. Although the devotee's attitude at that point of time is such that I can be anywhere and doesn't make any difference to me. And that is also specified in the Srimad Bhagavatam 6:17-28. Narayana parasarve na kutaschana bibhyati swargapavarga narakeshwapi tulyartha darshina. Devotees solely engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan never fear any condition of life. For them, heavenly planets, liberation, and hellish planets are all the same, because they are only interested in service of Bhagavan. So that by the time they achieve prema, this is the attitude that they take upon. And you can see the attitude of Jad Bharat. He was okay with people slaughtering him. That's all right with me. So that was his attitude by the time he attained prema. But then Bhagavan starts thinking like you are thinking. At that time, Bhagavan starts thinking as you were thinking. It's more favorable to call this devotee back to my abode so that his service will be facilitated. His or her service will be facilitated. So I fully agree with you, provided Prema is attained. So I hope that satisfies your query. Yeah?
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Prabhu, please tell me if I have to... Should we pause? One, okay. Anybody else? Anybody else wants to ask anything? Yeah. Let's give him the mic. Dauji Nitai Prabhu.
So Prabhuji, so in the morning class we heard that the Prema can be attained only if we associate with somebody, a sadhu who has Prema with him. So will we have a desire to go and then meet because I will get that and then I will get and it will become ultimately a transactional affair?
No. We want to meet a sadhu who has Prema, and because we also want Prema.
Yes.
There is nothing transactional, because transactional is something for self-benefit. Yeah. Are we looking for self-benefit or Krishna's benefit ultimately?
Krishna's benefit.
So that is non-transactional. We want a sadhu so that they can teach us Prema. And Prema is the only thing which is not for our benefit, it is for Krishna's benefit. So therefore ultimately we are looking for Sri Krishna. And Acharyas have prayed like this. I will quote one prayer. Please repeat. Prema dhana vina vyartha.
Prema dhana vina vyartha.
Daridra jivana. Dasa kari vetan more. Deha prema dhana. Without love of Godhead, without Prema, my life is useless. Therefore, I pray that you accept me as your servant and give me the salary of Prema, ecstatic love of Bhagavan. Prabhu, tell me, this is transactional or non-transactional? It is highly non-transactional. Although it externally appears transactional, it is the greatest form of non-transactional religiosity, because Prema is the only thing which is not for our benefit. It is for Sri Krishna's happiness. Right? Yes. Cry for it. Then you'll get. Yes.
In order to achieve Prema, does it require sacrifice? And if it does, what is the nature of that sacrifice?
To achieve Prema, it requires sacrifice. And
if it does, then what is the nature of that sacrifice?
To achieve Prema, we need to sacrifice all our considerations, presuppositions, predispositions in front of the teachings of the devotee who has Prema. That sacrifice is needed. Srila Prabhupada is such a devotee who has Prema in his heart. If we are willing to sacrifice our presuppositions, dispositions, or all our attitudes which are against Prema, if we are willing to sacrifice in front of the desire of the Premi Bhakta, that sacrifice is a worthy sacrifice. And having done that sacrifice, we will align with the devotee who has Prema. And after having aligned with that devotee, Bhagavan will be very happy to give us that Prema. You know? Thank you. Haribo.
Let's all give His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu a big Hari Bo. Hari Bo.